All right, welcome back to the channel. The Duke Texas Tech film breakdown. Tough loss for Duke, up 17, lost the lead, lost the game. Then they even got up to, I think when Texas Tech cut it to 2 or 3, Duke got it back to like 10 or 11. And then Christian Anderson in two straight trips hit a couple threes to cut it to 5. He played his ass off, and Texas Tech won the game because of him. In the preview of this game on my channel, you can find me and my boy Christian Ojakjan previewing this game. And we talked about Christian Anderson being the guy for Texas Tech. And shout out to my boy Christian Ojakjan, getting a shout out from Christian Anderson after the game at the presser when Ojakjan asked Christian Anderson a question. And that was a cool moment. It's a cool moment. So happy for my boy. And not happy to break this down as a Duke loss, but this Texas Tech team, they have 6 healthy bodies, and they beat Duke with about 3.5 of them as they dealt with foul trouble. But I'm gonna stop blabbing about all of that, and we're gonna get right into the film breakdown.
Banks it in to give the Red Raiders the early lead as we check the Duke starting lineup. Nicholas Jimenez starting his 4th consecutive game. Obviously, Cameron Boozer demanding so much attention, the leading scorer in the nation.
And one of the things Texas Tech is going to have to do against Cameron Boozer, they're going to have to make him guard on the defensive end.
Jimenez open, misses the...
So right here, Duke's first set of the game, Duke goes down 9-0, and Duke missed a ton of free throws. Duke would have won the game if they would have made, I don't know, 2 more free throws. They were 17 to 29, I think, from the free throw line. And so obviously that's easy to point at and say that's the reason Duke lost. But also this is concerning for me to where the role players have to make these catch and shoot threes, because Duke always runs the 2-man game. Like that's what they ran last year. Like they like to keep the floor spaced out and have shooters around outside of the 2-man. So Caleb Foster, Pat Gongba. Look at 3 guys of Texas Tech guarding Caleb Foster and Pat Gongba. Nick Amania's guy does not care at all about him being wide open for this 3. Texas Tech and other opponents have done this where they're daring Duke role players outside of Isaiah Evans to shoot an open 3 and try and keep them honest. I mean, this is a wide open 3 and missed it. Like you gotta make these. And Duke made 50% in the first half, so while they're up 10, and at halftime, second half, Duke goes 3 of 13 from 3, and most of them, as you'll see in this film breakdown, are kind of like this. Texas Tech wants to swarm the ball and not give the roll man as an option, and so they want to collapse, and they did, and they executed it. They had the right guy for them to shoot open 3s, and Duke comes up empty in that possession.
Really their only true size and shot blocker, but a good defensive play by Watts.
Texas Tech wanted to come out aggressive on the defensive end, and they have.
And Christian Anderson buries
The team.
Just live ball turnovers.
But they've been in gaps, they've been alert, they've communicated early.
They've allowed 90 or more points in each of their last 2 games, and almost all of the focus.
Like that has to go in, right? Like, again, look how aggressive Texas Tech is. It's a back screen by Isaiah Evans for Cam Boozer. And just look at Nick Jimenez's guy leaving him wide open in the corner to eliminate Cam Boozer. Like there's 4 bodies of Texas Tech in the paint, and Nick Jimenez's guy is 1 pass away. Like this is crazy. They're that off on 1 pass away, where normally, I mean, if you teach it, if you're a high school coach, you want the guy who's guarding Nick Jimenez in the corner up a little bit more because he's technically 1 pass away, but they're acting like it's 2 passes away. They want to eliminate Cam Boozer, Isaiah Evans, eliminate everything in the middle. So Pat Gongba has to find Nick Jimenez in the corner, and Nick Jimenez at this time makes Texas Tech pay.
Gongba thought about it, and he is shooting the 3 every now and again this year. Jimenez with a fake drive.
Again, Nick Jimenez, they're leaving him wide open. Look at this is legit 2 passes away this time. Again, 2-man game, but look how aggressive Texas Tech is at eliminating Pat Gongba as the roller. Like Pat only had 1 field goal attempts all game. 1 field goal attempt. He was 1 for 1. They're eliminating the bigs to roll in the paint. So now here comes Nick Jimenez. He already knocked 1 down, so he's going to pump fake here to get the guy closing out off balance, blow by off the top foot, finish. That's good basketball. That's going to have to happen for Duke if they want to win. I mean, they're 11-1, but like to win these type of games and to pull away from teams, they got to do this with a big lead.
After game of the Red Raiders, how hard they work sometimes to get him to use the right hand and how skilled he is at getting back to the right shoulder using the left hand. Here's a mismatch in the post. Gumba up and in.
And so that was Big Pat's only bucket of the game, only bucket. And it's an island. Like, there's nothing to it. Clear out, let him go to work. He got the mismatch that he wanted, and he finishes.
Guard to fouls, and you certainly don't want to see anybody twist an ankle or anything, but you always have to be concerned about that. But yeah, you could see him go with 6.
Toppin with a screen and a re-screen. Watts with a shot fake. Boozer doesn't bite. Shot clock at 5. Anderson.
Caleb Foster was awesome on Christian Anderson in the first half. Just hounding him. Hounding Christian Anderson. And Texas Tech did a good job adjusting to where they started sending up a guard to be the first screen on Caleb Foster to switch. And then there was a mismatch with Christian Anderson and another Duke defender, as you'll see in the breakdown. But here, high ball screen with JT Toppin. All right, go underneath, re-screen, go over the re-screen. Just hounding Christian Anderson. He has to give the ball up to Watts. Doesn't like what he sees. Now it's ISO with less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Need to go get a bucket. Just great defense by Caleb Foster there on that possession. And I wish that Duke would have stuck with that in the second half. But as you'll see, Texas Tech made a good adjustment in the second half for Christian Anderson to go nuclear.
Toppin guarded by Boozer. Anderson misses a 3.
He's the guy that really has to get going for Texas Tech. He can put up points in a hurry, Christian Anderson.
Here's a guy Jon Scheyer would love to see get going on a consistent basis. Isaiah Evans, he is scoreless tonight. A nice pass.
All right, there's Dame Sarr as he's getting teed up right there. He gets teed up, can't do that. I'm pretty sure he said something bitch to the bench in front of the referee. It's an automatic tee. But again, Texas Tech, just one concern. Cam Boozer, skip pass, great pass. Dame Sarr, you got to knock that down, and he does. He hit, 3 threes in the first half. He only played 1 or 2 minutes in the second half. We'll get to that later, but good shot. Hit 3 threes in the first half, and him and Homenia have to knock those down with defenses worried about Cam Boozer and Pat Gungba in the middle of the defense.
From Boozer.
That was a body-seeking attempt.
Jon Scheyer hollering out a play. Caden to Cameron Boozer. In the corner, Sarr. Got another one.
So there's Sarr again, knocking it down. But here, this was after – I didn't catch this live, but this was after the hook and hold was JT Toppin's third foul. They overturned it for a hook and hold on Pat Gungba. JT Toppin was playing way too aggressive for a guy that had 2 fouls in the first half, whereas Pat Gungba was just walking down here to get in position. I mean, that's crazy. And the baseline ref's looking right at it. Like that, you just called Pat Gungba for a hook and hold and for far less, honestly, and he's getting shoved all the way back. Like, this is crazy. That's crazy. I mean, Dame hits the 3, but if you're going to call a hook and hold the previous possession or whenever that was, and then you let that go, that's crazy. Now why Duke lost the game, I'm just rewatching the film and just thought that was wild. And I think it happens a little bit right here too, where it's just Pat tried to sell that one a little bit more, but just a lot of hand fighting, in the post. And then a double team to Big Pat here finds Caden Boozer open 3, and his shot has changed a little bit. You can tell he's worked on his form. Did I say that in the Lipscomb video? I think I might have, but yeah, I did. I want to see what his shooting splits are going to be from November, December to January and February, because they're going to be better. And you can see when it leaves his hand now, it looks a little bit cleaner. And I thought he had a really good game for Duke on the offensive end.
If you stay behind and try to push him off the lane, you've got more of a chance.
Anderson gets the switch. Brown on him. Now back to Watts. Driving on Caden Boozer. 10 to shoot. Anderson can't get a shot off over Brown and turns it over.
Malik Brown was fantastic defensively. Again, wish he should have probably been in down the stretch instead of probably Big Pat and Cam. It would have probably went Cam and Malik Brown. He had 5 steals, and if he gets switched on Christian Anderson, he poked it away 3 times. I think 2 straight times and on the first half, maybe 3 straight possessions. But here just knocks it away, gives Duke the ball, and Duke goes to push it.
Evans puts up a 3. And a good job by Horner to hold off Brown and come down with the rebound.
But Brown almost got a hand on that one.
Anderson the drive, lost it, knocked it.
Just unbelievable. Like, Duke had Christian Anderson so flustered in the first half with Caleb Foster and Malik Brown. So it's just frustrating to know what happened in the second half, knowing how uncomfortable Christian Anderson was in the first half against Duke.
Away from behind. Watch picks up his dribble, finds Atwell. Anderson with Sarr on him. Sarr, a very good defender, lots of length. Shot clock's down to 2. And Anderson never
Shot clock violation on Christian Anderson, guarded by Malik Brown.
is able to get it off over Malik.
On the Texas Tech guard. I mean, averaging 19 points a game. He hasn't been able to get anything in this one.
Sarr, a freshman from Italy who has previous pro experience in Spain. Anderson with Cam Boozer switching on to him. A little push there by Anderson.
And that shot right there turned Christian Anderson up a million notches. A million notches. This was his first bucket since the 3 to make it 5-0 or whatever it was early in the game. And then he goes nuclear in the second half in the last 14 minutes based off of this play. This got him going. And as you see, he's getting now 2 screens instead of 1 screen to get switches by Duke. So there, Dame didn't switch, but as you'll see later, Duke does switch the first screen. But Dame is going to get screened by Lawan Watts. He's going to fight through it. And then him and Cam Boozer are going to switch this, but this is the matchup that Texas Tech wants. Cam Boozer, as dominant as he is offensively, he just has slow feet guarding the perimeter. We saw it against Lipscomb, and that was Lipscomb. This is Christian Anderson, who's probably going to be a first-team All-American, and he went to work, and then he went to work the rest of the second half.
Able to create in the first 27 minutes of this game.
Sarr's hit 3 of them already tonight, not this time.
So now the lead is to 12, right? It was up to 17. Now it's to 12 after the Christian Anderson shot. But here, like, the spacing is fine. This is exactly how Duke runs their stuff. But look, 4 guys in the paint because Cam Boozer's right there about to back in, and they're not going to leave him. He does the same thing as he did in the first half, throw over top to Dame. Dame just hesitates slightly right there and misses the 3. And Texas Tech gets a stop, and then they go down and score right here after that. So now it's 60-51, where it was 60-48. Dame hits the 3. It's 63-48, and it's just a different game mentally. But that open miss 3 by Duke gave Texas Tech life to make it now a single-digit deficit.
And now they've got it back, but not for long. Malik Brown takes it away.
And again, Malik Brown was awesome. Here, right there, I thought Duke was going to win. There was 2 times where I thought Duke was going to win this game for sure. And that was the first one where Texas Tech cut it to 9. Ball went through Malik Brown's hands. He swipes it, gets it back, gets an and 1 3-point play potential. And it just felt like that was the first time where Duke was like, okay, now we're going to blow this game open from a 9-point lead to 20+.
There were residual payments to, like, Richie Saunders' family at BYU, considering his great-grandfather invented the tater tot.
So we owe the family as a whole
And then that's just 4-point play. You just can't let that happen. I know Foster didn't agree with the call, but just Christian Anderson stepping into it. Pat Gongba is just in drop coverage because Pat just can't really guard the perimeter like that. And so you just – that's a difficult thing right here, right? Like, Pat Gongba has played so far off because he's just not quick, like, doesn't have quick feet. And so drop coverage makes it harder for Caleb Foster to get back and results in a 4-point play, and now it's 63-55.
For Boozer, too far under the basket, but Caden Boozer is open in the corner. Gongba foul.
So again, Gongba, I said the first one, Malik Brown having the 3-point play on the steal made me feel confident Duke's going to win the game. This is an 8-point lead, and now Caden Boozer misses the 3. Pat Gungba gets the foul. That's Lawan Watts' 5th foul of the game with 11:33 to go. Now Pat Gungba is going to the line for 2 free throws, thinking the game is not in hand, up only 8 with 11:33, but felt like it was trending in the right direction for Duke. Pat Gungba then goes 0 for 2 from the free throw line, and now ensuing possession for Texas Tech.
Toppin, Groves open, and an air ball on the corner 3. Shot clock does not reset as the Red Raiders get it back. Petty, 6-point game.
So now it's a 6-point game. Should have been a 10-point game with Pat Gungba making 2 free throws. White Boy comes in for Texas Tech, airballs a 3. Should have been a defensive rebound with a 10-point game. Instead, it's an 8-point game. Missed 2 free throws. Don't get off a defensive rebound and an air ball. Texas Tech makes you pay. Now it's a 6-point game.
I would doubt at any point, even in practice, Grant McCasland has had this group of 5 on the floor at the same time.
I can't imagine it either.
Now, I paused it right here because I've said all year, if you want to stop Cam Boozer, go trap him when he puts the ball on the floor. Oh, let me mute it. When he puts the ball on the floor. Look at Christian Anderson. Just, all right, he's driving, and now let me go and tie him up. Jump ball. Great defensive play there by Texas Tech to go after Cam Boozer on a double team and a blindside double where his back is turned to the help side. So when he spins back, jump ball, possession error, Texas Tech.
The held ball, and it looks like the officials were going to give the ball to Duke, that nobody had noticed the possession arrow was headed Texas Tech's way until Grant McCasland started yelling at everybody, red ball, and then they corrected it.
So now a 3-point play opportunity for Texas Tech. This was the wrinkle I was talking about in the first half that they didn't do. Now they did it in the second half. Is they're setting a guard-to-guard screen for Christian Anderson to get Caleb Foster off of him because Caleb Foster's done an outstanding job on Christian Anderson up to the 4-point play. And besides that, he still played really well against him. Now it's Caden Boozer. Here comes the ball screen now with JT Toppin. Again, Pat Gungba cannot guard the perimeter. He's in drop coverage, and he's just too far over. He's in no man's land. He's not really guarding the ball, or is he getting closer to JT Toppin? Straight line for JT. 3-point play opportunity, 63-59, and Texas Tech has the ball again.
And everything they are dealing with by Tech. Petty no. Followed by Anderson, and it's a 2-point.
So a 2-point game because missed box out by Nick Kaminia here on the 3-pointer. Nick has Christian Anderson looking to go box him out. Just a little Olay by Christian Anderson. Lays it in. 2-point game. Nick Kaminia had a decent first half, but he had 0 rebounds in the game. And you cannot do that and win basketball games.
It's a 2-point. On the season at better than 12 a game. He's only attempted 3 shots. Groves is on Boozer. They're keeping Toppin away from him. He's on Brown. Evans now.
So it's the first bucket Isaiah scored all game, the only bucket Isaiah scored all game. Apparently, allegedly, he's been sick all week, didn't practice all week, and then was sick during the game. But still, just got to get more out of Isaiah or more touches. I don't know, but 1 of 4. Him making 1 basket, Pat only making 1 basket. That's a recipe to lose against Texas Tech team that gave up 90-plus in back-to-back games, including 90 the game before Duke to Northern Colorado, and Duke scored 81. And here is just a little pin-down action where Isaiah's coming off the screen by Malik Brown, and he can either take it to the rim or throw it to Malik. He decides to keep it and finishes.
Has scored. It down, and it's still a 4-point game.
Well, Malik Brown did a really good job of keeping his body between Toppin and the basket. Just make him make a tough one over you.
Duke fans now making the noise. Probably about 3/4 Duke fans here at the Garden tonight. Evans puts it on the deck again, scoops it up.
And then Duke goes to this action that they've gotten really good results. Obviously, the game winner against Florida, the foul on the 3 at Michigan State for Isaiah. They get good action where they can get Cam Boozer also going downhill with Isaiah being the screener for Cam. And here sets the screen, throws to Isaiah, just simple basketball, rip through, gets to the lane, gets 2 free throws. It's now 67. I think it was 67-61, but now it's 69-63.
Keeping them within striking range, down by 6.
So again, same action, right? Isaiah setting the screen for Cam Boozer, and then he's going to flare out.
7.5 to go. Boozer, long strides into the paint.
Good play. Good play call by John Shire. Again, your shooter is setting the screen to where the guy that's guarding Isaiah Evans on the screen, he can't body bump Cam Boozer here because then he's going to leave the shooter. And you don't want to switch this. So just great screen by Isaiah to screen the guy. It gives Cam Boozer a straight path to the lane, 3-point play potential.
And a chance for 3. Then you won't force into Boozer. Kick to Foster, wide open. And Boozer took it away from.
So I said 2 times. This was 3 times where I was like, okay, now Duke. Surely they're not going to give up a double-digit lead with 6:30 to go after they gave up the double-digit lead earlier in the game.
Toppin to lay it in. Away from Toppin to lay it in.
Boy, was I wrong.
Well, Toppin had that ball in his hands, and Boozer just took it away from him.
And that is not the kind of thing that happens to J.T. Toppin very often. All of a sudden, it's an 11-2 run for Duke. Again, after Texas Tech had gotten within 2. Anderson.
Just a hell of a play, hell of a shot by Christian Anderson. 11-2 run by Duke, and Christian Anderson goes on a 6-0 run with like that to make it a 5-point game, and then J.T. Toppin scores to make it a 3-point game. 8-0 run by Texas Tech in about a minute and a half.
With a long 3. A steal by Anderson. Oh, and Boozer gets back to take it away. And good defense there by Groves. Didn't foul Brown and bothered him enough. Anderson again.
Just like I said, 6-0 run by Christian Anderson in a blink of an eye. Cam Boozer threw a bad pass. Luckily, Texas Tech didn't score the first time, and then he gets back after throwing a bad pass, gets the steal. But here, do not throw this. I know it looks screenshot-wise, looks like it's wide open, but Malik Brown trying to dribble from half court or 3-point line with a guy on his back is a low percentage shot. Like this is, I understand the risk. I understand what you're seeing here, but the risk reward is not what you think. Just, you got to give this up because Malik Brown just bobbled it the whole way because he's unfamiliar with that type of finishing. You get the steal here, 8-point game, 5:50 to go. Give it to your point guard and just run a set. Instead, Duke gets a little greedy here, and then Malik Brown smokes the layup. And now Duke's trying to get back here with Christian Anderson. And just a really good job by J.T. Toppin headhunting Caleb Foster immediately to where Caleb stands no chance on that screen. And Cam Boozer is way far away from the 3-point line to step up and contest. Like, again, so far, so deep to where Christian Anderson can just step into this and just, Duke battled adversity and probably need to get out of that drop coverage against Christian Anderson because he killed them in that.
15 of Anderson's 20 here in the second half. Foster spins back to Cam Boozer.
Again, this is what I was talking about, 5-point game. This is the right read. As I've said since the beginning of this video, look at everybody just taking a step closer in to really swallow up the lane to Cam Boozer. So Cam has to make one read, and the read is the shooter open in the corner. You got to knock that down.
And Texas Tech has it again with Boozer on Anderson. Ball's loose. Shot clock at 3. The force. Got it on the rim. Toppin lays it in.
That's a winning play by Texas Tech. Duke got the stop they needed. Christian Anderson just threw it at the rim. Go get the rebound. They didn't. J.T. Toppin did. Now it's a 3-point game.
And it's into Toppin. Too strong off the glass. Gun by the rebound.
Couldn't really corral it with that left hand when he made a difficult catch.
Caden Boozer floats it up and in.
Ballsy by Caden Boozer. Jay Billis said he loved that. I did not. I'm glad it was a no yes for me because it is 1 on 5. That is heavy traffic. Look, like I said, Caden Boozer had a really good game. That was scary live, but he made it. Duke's up 5. Now all you got to do is get a stop. Get a stop.
Really smart attack by Caden Boozer in transition. Grant McCaslin not very happy with Jalen Petty after that last decision that he made on the offensive end. This is where Texas Tech wants the ball, with Christian Anderson making decisions.
All right, so now Texas Tech got the switch from Caleb Foster to Darren Harris. Now here comes the screen by JT Toppin. This time, Pat Gongba is up. He's not playing drop coverage, and then Christian Anderson hits this.
Gongba switches onto him. Deep three. Got it!
That's a hell of a damn shot. That's Damian Lillard against Paul George by 2 feet closer. But like that's a hell of a shot. That pound dribble sidestep is beautiful. I mean, just a big time player making a big time shot in a big time moment.
What a second half for Christian Anderson.
He can go off on you, and he's proving it in the second half.
Boy, right now, Duke probably fearing him more than Toppin the way that this game has developed. 2:45 to go. 5 on the shot clock. Foster spinning into the paint. And
Just shot clock violation in a big moment. I would have liked to seen Cam Boozer go to work here. Mismatch. This kid for Texas Tech hasn't played. I can't remember how long it's been since he actually played like meaningful minutes. And he had to play, 10 plus minutes in this game in the second half due to foul trouble for Texas Tech. Texas Tech came in this game literally only playing 6 guys. Bryce Petty was the guy off the bench for them, and that's it. And this is good defense, but Caleb Foster probably needs to get out of that slot position right there and make more so to the wing. I would like to see him at the end and Garden to make his defender be out of help, because when Cam Boozer tries to go back middle, look where Caleb Foster's guy is and help side, because Caleb's just kind of slot to slot with Cam Boozer. And so now it's kind of clustered. Probably should have shot the first one, and ultimately, obviously, it leads to a shot clock violation. Good defense possession by Texas Tech right there, but felt like if Duke just had a little bit better spacing, Cam Boozer could have went ISO and scored.
20 points is loving it from the bench.
now 19 in the second half for Anderson. They can tie or take the lead on this trip. They'll tie it. Somehow, this game is knotted up at 76. This is pretty remarkable stuff, Jay. Boozer.
So Boozer gets fouled, goes to the line, makes 1 of 2. But again, the screen by Isaiah Evans. When Duke needs to get a bucket, it looks like this is going to be the set every time. Isaiah sets the screen for Cam Boozer, and them two go to work. And it gives Cam Boozer an opportunity to make it a 2-point game. Instead, he makes 1 of 2. It's 77-76.
Looking for the lead on this trip. Toppin trying to back down Boozer. Easier said than done. Turnaround.
Look, was that lucky? Probably. Could JT Toppin do that again? I would bet no. But you create your own luck. Texas Tech created their own luck by how hard they played in the second half, and Christian Anderson going to work. Like, they deserve that. They deserve that shot to go in, and Duke deserved that shot to go in the second half.
Knocks it down, and the Red Raiders have the lead.
So we are just seeing big-time play after big-time play.
1:20 to go. Evans has it knocked away. 1:20 to go. Evans has it knocked away. Anderson in transition goes!
I mean, big-time players make big-time plays. Christian Anderson makes a big-time play here. Trying to go back to, again, the down screen for Isaiah by Malik Brown to play a two-man game. He just loses it. Gets it poked away. I think it was Christian Anderson. Or he might have lost it. I can't really tell. Either way, Christian Anderson is the one that scores on that play. Again, Duke's had a good success with the pin down action for Isaiah to come off the curl and either make a play at the rim or throw to Malik Brown instead. turns it over. 3-point play for Texas Tech, 81-77.
To up by 4 here in the second half.
You got to go to Cam Boozer here. They isolate him on the elbow.
He kicks it out. The 3.
Just a huge shot by Caden Boozer. Huge shot. The one role player that made a big 3 for Duke when they needed it in the second half, Caden Boozer. 3 of 13, like I said, in the second half for Duke as a team. Caden comes up big. This is kind of what happened in the shot clock violation, right? Where it's Cam Boozer at the same spot almost that as it was earlier. And then Caleb Foster was probably where Caden is right now on this screenshot. But now Duke gets Caden out of there, and then Isaiah lifts, but Isaiah lifts just ever so slightly to where his guy cannot stop this drive by Cam Boozer. The only guy that can stop it is, well, they're switching, so it's actually Caden's guy. It was Isaiah's guy, but now he switched on to Caden because guard-to-guard exchange. So the help side comes from the guy in the corner. You got to make him pay for being that deep in help side, and Duke does. Caden Boozer, big-time 3 to make it 81-80.
Anderson spins out of harm's way. We are into the final minute of regulation here in New York. The Red Raiders with the ball and a 1-point lead.
They're not going to bring Toppin up to set the screen because he's being guarded by Malik Brown.
Anderson almost loses his footing. Now he does.
Fantastic play by Caden Boozer. Caden Boozer has not been the best Duke defender this season. Teams have went after Caden Boozer, but I tell you what I've learned from Caden Boozer is he stepped up in 2 big moments for Duke. He hit that 3 to make it a 1-point game. Now you need to go get a stop. They're going to single you out against the best player on the court. What are you going to do? You show up in the bright lights. You get the defensive stop. You give your team a chance to go win the game. Big back-to-back possessions by Caden Boozer in this game.
All may come down to this here with the game clock and the shot clock virtually bang on. Cam Boozer.
So Duke goes right back to the well on Caden Boozer. Hit that open 3 the previous possession. It's the same exact play. The same exact play. Throw to Cam, let him go to work in that slot, and you get out, Caden. And Isaiah, you stay put about right there on the wing, not the slot, but the wing, and let Cam go to work. And Cam goes against the mismatch, gets fouled, exactly what Duke wanted. 2 good looks, 2 great looks on the same set, back-to-back plays, but you got to make your free throws. Could have been 82-81 Duke. Now it's 82-81 Texas Tech because Caleb Foster fouled Christian Anderson, made 1 of 2, and here's the end of the game play for Duke.
Foster gets it in. Boozer puts it up.
So Cam didn't get the shot off anyways. Even if it would have went in, it didn't count. But this is a good play design. Texas Tech just did a really good job of defending it to where it is going to Cam right away because he's the biggest guy on the court. You want to throw it to the guy that gives you the best opportunity to catch this ball and get into whatever you want to run. This is for Isaiah Evans to come off a rescreen by Pat Gungba. So it's really going to be thrown to Cam. And then you see Isaiah peek to Caleb. He's making sure that ball's being thrown. When that ball's being thrown, that's the trigger for Isaiah to turn around and go to the ball, which he does. And now Pat is supposed to set the screen for Isaiah, but I think it's Petty, number 11, does a really good job of shooting this gap to where it eliminates Isaiah Evans. And now Cam Boozer had to try and make a play late, and he didn't get the shot off. But you see Cam Boozer's looking at Isaiah when he catches this. He's looking, and then he realizes it's taken. So he has to go make a play. It just didn't get off in time in 1.6 seconds. Texas Tech made a hell of a play, hell of a game by Texas Tech. Talk about a tough team. Big-time win for Texas Tech. Duke drops their first one of the season. Tough pill to swallow if you're a Duke fan in the moment. I know that night was tough going live after the game, but after a day or two sleeping on it, like Duke's 11-1 going into Christmas. If you would have told me that was Duke's record going into Christmas in the preseason, I would have been stoked. It just sucks the way they lost the one game, but it's in December against a good Texas Tech team that's going to get even better when they get healthy, and it's not going to kill a resume for Duke. They still look good. still have faith in Duke. They just certain guys got to do certain things better. And this coaching staff and the players know it. And so I'm looking forward to seeing a hungry Duke team against Georgia Tech after Christmas. And Texas Tech, congratulations. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. And Duke fans, if you made it this far, I appreciate you guys always watching the channel. Expect more stuff coming to the channel. And thank you guys. And Merry Christmas to you and yours. And I'll see you guys at the Georgia Tech game.